So we can now go into the people's favorite segment, which is like when it comes to this podcast, the best review that I've gotten has been a week in the hobby. And great job by Nick. Like he asked one of the questions that we are going to be talking about. So he was ahead of the curve. So we'll start off with a week in the hobby. Like I said, I run InTheBox Collection. That's like my own personal podcast. And really like I do very little when it comes to like moving cards, because my goal to move cards is pretty much just to get my podcast like funded so that way I can pay for StreamYard. And also I work with Rocky Mountain Sports Cards, which is their main goal is to sell cards. Like Ryan, Alex do a great job with the ship and rip. They do a great job when it comes to like team breaks and things like that. And I'm always working with them as well. Like one day Ryan will watch my Nick says you talk to my wife and tell her I'm always ahead. That will cost you extra. Like you gotta buy a lot of cards from us. We could like one day Ryan will watch the podcast and he'll decide to show us his PC. Like I've seen some of his like personal collection is pretty dope. Until he's another guy and that's the reason why he loves the whole business of cards. Like I'm in it for like creating content, getting people to know about it. So yeah, that's my background when it comes to cards, InTheBox Collection, the podcast, how we bring people together. And I work with Rocky Mountain Sports Cards when it comes to like the main focus to selling cards. And you guys, I met you guys through the business of cards itself. BECM Cards, which do you guys want to tell the people what BECM Cards, what that stands for? How did that get started? How did you guys make it a week into the hobby? Like,
yeah, I guess overall the Beckham, well, for one, it was kind of, Colton loves the Giants. Odell Beckham's one of his favorite players. So it was lucky that our names of our wives and us is turned into Beckham. That's basically what it is Bethany, Eileen, Colton, Matt, BECM Cards. So that worked out really nicely in that regard. How we thought of it, pretty much Colton and I had a couple of beers and started talking about cards and started kind of talking about different ways, different avenues to sell cards, get people involved in cards, and that literally happened probably October, November-ish, and yeah, it just kind of took off.
You guys are official now, yeah. I think Colton, like I know Colton, he's like the more direct guy. Like me and Colton have had a couple conversations, and like Colton is like one of my favorite people because Colton, he's just like he's so direct in his approach, and like he's just a direct guy. Like I think he yelled at me the first time he like DM'd me, and I'm like, I don't know what happened. Like I don't know, but it's. I liked it.
Talking to me.
It's like I was confused, you were confused, we were both confused trying to figure things out. And like, but to me, it's like I like people like that because I know you're like a no bullshit kind of guy. It's like you get what you get, and I like that as a character of a person for it. So you guys have a great thing going. I'm happy for you guys, and I tell you guys on a daily basis. So I'm like, yeah. Plus, BECM Cards is so much original than InTheBox Collection. Like sometimes my thing sounds like I have an OnlyFans. So,
do you?
Yeah.
I mean, do you look into invest my
I got some pretty nice cameras, so I do have some like hidden cameras. So, so back to week in the hobby. Talking about getting cards graded. I want to like. I know Nick is watching. I want to. You should talk to the wife about it, tell her that he was ahead. My wife might be watching. I don't know. Sometimes she watches it. She loves me. So what's better, PSA, GMA, and Beckett? Matthew, if you want to take the floor, man, and you want to tell us what PSA did to you, I'm going to put the solo layout and you can go ham on PSA.
Okay.
So the floor is yours. Tell us.
No problem. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're fine.
Trying to get my my phone plugged in here because it's dying. My microphone's dying. So 1 second. So
yeah, no problem.
There we go. Got it plugged in now. All right. So take on this. Colton's heard this over and over and over again, so I apologize, Colton. You have to hear this again, but I think benefits to PSA. You get a PSA 10, you won't sell anything higher than a PSA 10 or Beckett. Beckett Black Label 10 or BGS Black Label 10 will probably sell for even higher than a PSA 10 because they're so rare. But so that's the great thing. So if you really think it's a 10, send it in to PSA. But the cons to all that is wait time. Even we paid $75 a card. It still took we were able to get 2 GMA orders back and send off a third one in the time it took for them to send back the 2 cards. So why PSA? Kind of my gripe about PSA. So you pay $75 a card. They do a great job. The cases look really nice. I mean, everything about PSA is top tier. But what isn't is that because it takes so long for them to flip cards around, like our Lafreniere card ended up dipping in value over that month because he started not performing as well. And so you start losing value there. So even if we got a PSA 10 at that time back, we would have lost money on that card. So you kind of have to think about these quick turnarounds, or if somebody stops.
You know what's crazy about what you just said right there? So you guys all know my wife, right? My wife, Tessie. She pulled the Justin Herbert. Her knowledge of sports cards is very little bit she's just getting in. I'm just getting her into it, right?
Yeah.
And that point that you made right there, that by the time you get the card in your hand, right, you pull it from the Walmart park or whatever, the Walmart pack or whatever, or from Rip and Ship, it ships to you 3 to 5 to 7 business days. By the time you send it to PSA and it gets back to you in 3 to 4 years, people might not know who Justin Herbert is by that point in time. People might not know who the hockey guys you mentioned. People might not know who Anthony Edwards is, and that is crazy. So that I just keep going, man. Tell us your first freshman with PSA. I completely and entirely agree with you, man. I don't think I think I sponsored the show, but I support what you're saying about PSA. So please, sorry, take the floor back.
No, you're good. Yeah. So I mean, they take a while to get back. So if you have a volatile rookie that you send off, like a Tyrese Maxey, he goes for 34, you send his card off to PSA on quick turnaround, $75. Well, right now that card's probably not going to go for very much because Tyrese Maxey is kind of hit or miss. So, the benefit there, like I said, of course, is if it does come back a mint 10, you're going to get max value. You're going to get great value out of it. And same with BGS. They have a big line as well. I haven't heard as much of a complaint, but I think they're in the same boat. That said, with GMA, where this mint 9 Lafreniere, when you wait that long, it comes back a mint 9. The chances of you getting a gem mint 10 out of it is pretty good, I would say, through GMA. Not saying they're lower quality or anything like that, but they tend to give more 10s. So
except to Chase Young, from what we found out, they don't like Chase Young.
And they don't like Chase Young. We are pretty certain that the guy doesn't like Ohio State or Chase Young and had gave him wedgies when he was younger or something. But GMA quick turnaround time. If we would have sent the Lafreniere off to GMA and we got a gem mint 10 back, all of a sudden that card is worth double of what this PSA mint 9 is now, because he's still the hot rookie at the time.
What time frame? Yeah.
Yep, and he's and it's a mint 10, and you can argue whether it's a 9 or a 10, but when you get a PSA 9, people are like, that's a 9, and you still get good value, but that's kind of the tough part overall. So it all depends on what you're trying to do. If you're really confident in your card is that it's a 10, I was really confident looking at the Lafreniere that it was going to be a 10. Pretty disappointed it wasn't. Do you want
to show the card? Do you want to show the card to the people, the Lafreniere? Do you want to show it? Put it on your phone, in your camera's phone.
Yeah. I can. And the main concern with cards this year for Upper Deck are these corners, and the corners are really crisp, right? And that's the main thing. surface defects, but these cards aren't like versions of baseball or basketball or anything like that where they have these surface dimples. This card's really clean that way. And then, yeah, I mean, it's just the card looks really clean all the way around. Corners all look good. I'm really shocked it was a 9.
PSA gave it a 9.
Once again, and so I'm almost certain that'd be a GMA 10. And that card, a GMA 10 right now, might sell for $1,000. This card is probably $400 right now as a PSA 9. Still good money, but
be honest, man.
Like,
I sorry to interrupt you, by the way, but be honest. Thomas asked the question. I support Thomas's question in your comments. Are you gonna crack the bitch, send it to GMA? Like, isn't it be worthwhile?
No, because there's the other danger. Is a GMA 9 is if GMA grades it a 9, then all of a sudden you're down value to probably 200 versus 400. So it's not really. Yeah. It's not worth it in that regard. But GMA's has its. I really like GMA and Colt. I think Colton, would agree with that overall.
Colton, how do you feel about graded cards? Like, do you like getting your cards graded? Because I know there was a couple. You guys sent out like 100 cards, and I know there was a couple for like Colton's, personal collections as well as yours. Colton, how do you feel about GMA, PSA, and Beckett? Now, I mean, my views are with Matthew. Like, yeah. Oh, Colton's gone.
And we lose him?
Yeah, he just dropped off. All right, so
okay. Phone might have died.
His phone might have done something like that. I think I don't know what happened. Maybe he has something. So we'll re-ask Colton when he gets back. I agree with you completely and entirely in what you said about the comparison between PSA, GMA, and Beckett. My only card that I sent to PSA so far that I received back, it was my Jason Dominguez. I was a purple Jason Dominguez. It was a number card. It was a 10.
Nice. Yeah.
And I'm happy about it. But at the same time, just like you did, man, I paid that $50, $75 express. Like, I put my money in the line. I was like, we're going to go all out for PSA. And we still don't know if Jason Dominguez is going to be hot. Like, if it would have, like, I got lucky. I don't think that I did anything special or anything like that. I think I just got lucky. And dude was like Jason. He may have been like a Dominguez fan. Maybe my grader was Dominican and I'm Dominican, so he felt the connection and he gave me the better grade for it. I do like GMA better. Their slaps are cleaner. Is it just me or? Oh,
PSA. Oh yeah, PSA's. Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, losing connection too. PSA's got a lot nicer slabs than GMA. BGS might even have nicer slabs than PSA. So yeah, it's all kind of what you want. What
you pay for in a sense, right?
Yeah. You get a lot nicer slabs. The GMA ones do move around a little bit more than the PSAs. Which is a gripe of a lot of people, which is fair, but that can be fixable over time. So PSA's turnaround and all that is rough, but they're experts. They
don't. I mean, they made it like 10 plus 10, almost 20 years, right? Like, people don't acknowledge that, don't give them enough credit. What do you think about the new HGA? Is that what they call it? They sound like a steroids. What do you think about the new HGA? They're the full-on artificial intelligence grading company that's out there.
Yeah, that's wish would have done something like that before they did it. Because right. I mean, not having any kind of human bias. If somebody has a bad day, or let's say they don't like the fact that you're Dominican and you submitted a Dominican baseball card and they give you a 9 because of that, for whatever reason, because that's just how people are. But yeah, I mean, like it takes away the bias of things, which is great. I mean, that's what you want. You want to know if you send a card in that it's legit. And so there's only so much. Yeah.
Have you done any research about HGA or anything like that, or no?
No, I thought it was I thought there was like a I can't remember what the one was that was using it, but I didn't realize that HGA was using the artificial,
Yeah.
or
All right.
like the instruments. So
Let me show you so this is some of the information that I have found for them real quick. So, all right. So I'm going to share my screen with you. All right. So this is HGA, right? So we're talking about a weekend hobby, and we want to talk about how we did and when it comes to sales and everything else, but also some of the new things that are also in the hobby. So this is the main website for HGA, which stands for Hybrid Grading Approach, right? Pretty much, it is exactly it. It's AI. Their time frames are pretty. They stand by the time frame. Like if they're say, I think I'll show you their prices and things like that. Give me a second. We'll go back to the homepage. Like their pricing and the time frame, they stand by it. So they have the fastest 10 days, most popular 30 days, and that's oh wow, they actually updated so now you can send more cards, which is great.
what's their prices? I can't really see on my screen
Oh
super
yeah.
well. 50,
So
35, 55. Okay.
yeah, so turnaround times 10 days, price per card, 1 to 19 cards, $50 per card. That's like 10 days, right? And you're dropping, you're paying for the services for it, right? Um, the most popular 30 days are probably like the standard, which is $35 per card. And they stand by their time frames. It's one of their biggest things on it. Now, I did notice this though, like for you to be able to submit a card to them, like it has to be within. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Which I want to get your thoughts on this, and I don't know if this is like a curveball or anything like that, but I actually wasn't planning on this at all. But we got to talk about grading and things like that, and I think this is a pretty important topic because we are new into the business of moving, selling cars, and different things like that, and but this is a huge thing when it comes to the business itself. Whether you're a collector, whether you're doing it for profit, whether you're doing it just to build your PC, but I mean, you have this new grading company. They have uh, guidelines on their gradings and return times. I guess you have to enter a cheat code, and it has to be done before Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern time, which is like 7 p.m. our time. Like I signed up with them because I was curious, and that's kind of what you do in the business. Like that's kind of what you do for like weekend hobby. But what do you think this is going to do to PSA, to GMA, and Beckett? Do you think that they're an actual threat? As when they span, it's only a matter of time. I guess if we can make it there before, if we can make it there like 7 p.m. 01, then we could maybe be able to put in a card into it and send a number of cards. Like I haven't done it yet because obviously,
No, I think they're only a threat when they become viable. GMA with their quick turnaround times are a semi threat to PSA right now, but people still prefer PSA. Even they prefer those. They prefer the the 80 year turnaround times, but they hold their value. People.
But shouldn't that be an incentive to PSA to like, bro, like hire some people, like.
Yeah.
Do me a favor, man. Like, get yourself on Indeed.com, post a couple of job postings, like train somebody to. There's obviously a demand in the hobby for getting stuff graded, right?
Yep, yeah, and they I think are trying to hire people. I think the problem is getting people that will live up to their standard, and that's the beauty of a non-biased approach using instruments. If HGA is doing it that way, is that they don't have to hire a new person; they buy another instrument. And that kind
just
of
buy a fast copy machine and just turn it into
So now, but how legit they are and like how what standards they go off of, we don't know yet. I mean, they charge a bunch for cards, but how do they cross over? That's the biggest thing, is how do they cross over to PSA? Because they can say they got all this stuff, but if their instruments are highly complex, have them calibrated properly and this and that, then you may be getting skewed results, and they may not know it because they're relying heavily on these instruments. And so I'd be interested to know how they do it personally.
So I was doing some
But
research. So this is
okay.
like straight from their website. Like I'm not for people that are watching. I'm just like if you're listening to us, like we're going straight to the HGA website because we are talking about grading, and it's an important process. Like we all want to find out a bit more about what's out there, right? Um, this is the other question here will be why not? That's cool, I guess.
Yep.
Highlights, custom. Can you see this? Can you read any of this?
Yeah. Yep.
So what do you think about their about us so far? I mean, they're saying why not, and customer service is the best, bar none, consistent, unbiased, and so that's not even a complete sentence. Um,
Is he implementing software that? Yeah, and once again, it comes down to the how do they ensure their software is constantly working properly?
yeah,
Because when it is working properly, they're absolutely correct. But these things can have glitches in the software, and what happens when they go to try and grade some kind of card that, like a die cut card. I don't know if you're familiar with those cards they're not the normal the normal square cards. They're kind of have cuts in them, just as part
like
of what they do.
the Crown Royal cards is that's I don't like.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean,
How do they
can
do that?
do you think that somebody can hack into the system and give us all tens? Like if we make a submission.
We need to figure it out. Yeah, no, and
So
that's
if
another
there's any
thing.
hackers, in the chat right now or watching the show, not saying we will hire you, but we're not looking for a hacker, but asking for a friend. Can you hack into HGA
Yep,
and give us a good deal?
that's right. That's right. Get us all tens. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Is software always has
Oh,
issues. So their
no.
whole 10-day turnaround thing is only good as long as their
Right.
software
And
is
it
working
looks like
properly.
it gives them a description of kind of what they look for. Surface, the centering, the edges. I mean,
Yep. No, it's super cool they did that. There's just a lot to work through, but they definitely are ahead of their competitors, and they might be the one that could challenge PSA and BGS, because, like I said, they don't have to hire new people. They just have to buy new instrumentation, and soon they could just have a factory of cards getting graded in and out.
right. Just what's the bad guy or the not Transformers, but Terminator, Skynet,
Yeah,
HGA
Skynet.
Skynet. Yeah, Skynet's just
Yeah.
replacing. I mean, I guess
Yep.
if we get into HGA, we can get into like some like politics and things like that, being how machines are replacing us people and the conspiracy theories. But whatever, man. So, something I do. So, thanks for the information, by the way. Really appreciate it. Like I said, for the people that are watching, check out BECM Cards. So I do like asking, how was your week in a hobby? How was your week in sales? Was there anything that, like, I was on vacation most of last week, but
Yeah.
Tyler hit the jackpot for me, and he brought me some NFL optics, in which I opened 2 packs. One of them, I hit the Green Chase Young.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Right. And the other one was trash. Like the other one, it's on TikTok and it's sad. People cry with me there. But I got pretty lucky when it came to your Rassus. I won 3 cards,
Yep.
and the other card was taken by Luis. So, how was your week in the hobby? Like when it came to, this week's experience with cards for you? Did you have a good week? Was it a bad week? Was there something that threw you off? Did some guy like piss you off? That like what's something happened that was something that was fun or just that overall happened the weekend of hobby for you?
I think we got our PSA cards back, so that was bad. But overall, I mean, the things are going pretty well. Moving cards. Lamelo's still good. Herberts are still good. It's kind of all the other cards that are kind of just hit or miss. Have some Sadiq Bays up and some Precious Achuas up on our eBay. But overall, my biggest thing is eBay. People that bid on your stuff and then don't pay. It drives me nuts, man. It drives me nuts. Like the people will go, somehow eBay doesn't restrict them from doing that, or they do, but not very well. And so we'll get, we've sold a Herbert card twice, same Herbert card twice. And let's see, this Herbert right here,
bid on it,
sold this Herbert twice. Nobody bid, nobody will pay.
I put it back, put it back on it. See if the people are, if anybody's interested, please purchase this Herbert from Matt because he's trying to get rid of it twice. How much was it? How much is that going for on eBay? How much were you selling it for on eBay?
Sold it initially for 60, and then the guy didn't pay, and then and eventually had to drop the price, and we sold it for 50, and still have yet to get the guy pay. But we're still waiting like a couple more days. But yeah, it's it's just, that's the sucky part. Razzes are nice because it's kind of all there, but the market's getting flooded with everybody wanting to razz, and so it's tough because everybody wants to buy into razzes and breaks, and it's all about trying to find the cards that people will still pay even when they don't want to buy in. So
that's true.
But yeah, overall good weeks. The peaks and valleys, just because once we get a bunch of cards posted from GMA, then typically we'll get peaks.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what eBay does with the cards I'm getting from you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like selling to people on Facebook. I feel like I like eBay better. I don't know why. I just like eBay better. But I don't get me wrong. People on Facebook, please buy my cards. Like I said, we trying to feed this podcast. Rocky Monster Sports Cards. We're trying to pay bills. BECM Cards, Bubblegum and Leather. I do want to send out an official invite to you. Myself and Andrew from Bubblegum and Leather. I'm pretty sure you're in that group because I invited you. I let people, if you're in my tiny circle, then I let you know where all the hits are, where I get my hits from. Bubblegum and Leather, definitely check them out. And we are planning an episode on doing a week in a hobby and just talk about all the things that we hate. Thanks, Nick. You just took that out of context, man. I'm sorry. But we want to do an episode, and everybody that's welcome into it to do what do you hate about the hobby? Please buy from us, please, Nick. Buy from InTheBox, buy from Rocky Mountain Sports Club, buy from Beckham, Andrew, Bubblegum and Leather. Don't buy from PSA. Buy from us. Yeah. So I'll send you an invite. How would you feel about coming in and telling your story on how the hobby has treated you good? I mean, we always talk about the good part. We say it was a great week, but it sounds like you have some anger built up, and I want to get it out.
No, definitely, and a lot of that comes down to the PSA thing, but then also people not buying, or the guys that buy into razzes and then they're like they don't pay their razz.
In a timely manner.
They always the one guy that got excommunicated because he shorted somebody and then jumped in and
I had a guy. He won the razz. I'm like, yeah, man, that's cool. You were the last person left. Everybody else I trust. We just want to run it for the people. Half of the time I just run it for the people. Yeah. And I'm like, man, this guy didn't pay, and on top of that, he won. So I didn't ship his stuff because I got a weird feeling about it. Because honestly, if you go into a razz, pay people. Thank you, Nicholas, for always paying people and for being always a good sport about things. But I waited 2 weeks. I'm like, dude, oh wow. I just found a number Robinson Cano car.
Send that in.
Yeah. So thanks, man. Appreciate it. So yeah, it was he won. So I waited 2 weeks to send this guy a freak. I'm like, dude, I would pay. I would cover it myself and rip this box right now. Just I don't know. But if you're down, we're thinking about doing it on this Sunday. So do you want to do it? Do you want to? I mean, I think there's still a lot of beautiful things about things, but we also got to talk about the negative. It's not all fun and games.
I can talk, about the positive and the negative of it. So, and Colton will probably be happy because it's not me just complaining to him about it, So you guys complain to you guys about it. So the eBay,
we're doing it for the wise.
Yeah, talk about all that. So on behalf of BECM Cards. So, but yeah,
perfect. All right, man. I think did we go over everything in the list? Have we missed anything? Anything you want to talk about? We talked about Super Bowl reaction, Tom Brady not retiring. We're all going for you're going for Lawrence. I'm going for Fields. Talked about NBA rookies. Really? Sorry,
yeah.
my wife is over here. I don't even know what she was doing. But thanks. Is there anything you want to talk about before we close on the show? I mean, we've been at it for about an hour and a half. This is what I like the time frame for it.
No, it's good. I'm good. Thanks for having us and helping to promote BECM Cards, and also we'll make sure to share it and let everybody know to come and watch these podcasts on your end. But overall, just thanks for letting Colton and I come on, and I know I talk a lot, so Colton's more reserved, doesn't talk as much as I. So I apologize, Colton, if he's
extremely direct. Yeah, he's probably like watching it. Just like I'm sure, like somewhere out there, Andrew is watching. Like, oh, I got him now. But
yeah. So yeah, no, thank you for that, and for giving us the spotlight for a little bit. So appreciate it, and look forward to more of these.
I hope so. All right, man. So I'm gonna end the stream to the people. Thank you everybody who dropped by. Thanks Nick. Thanks Trent, Lindsay and Trent. Thank you Tessie for watching and not dropping anything. Thanks Andrew. Thanks Delvy. You gotta. I'm gonna text you and I'm gonna find out how to pronounce your name. Jason hop into the stream for a little bit. Bennett hop into the stream for a little bit. Thanks to all you guys. At the end of the day, we kind of do this for you guys, and we understand, it is about us, running a business, but also I want to thank the people that support us, man. Like, your page is like taking off. You have had a whole bunch of supporters. It has been crazy for you. So that's awesome. So yeah. And yeah. Well, I think Matt left us. So I think he's replugging his headphones in. So I think his phone would probably just die. So yeah, guys, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, welcome back, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, I was just saying goodbye, saying thank you to everybody else that hop into it. This is InTheBox collection. BECM Cards. Check them out on Facebook, eBay. Support us so that way we can keep grinding out here, right? Because that's kind of what we're doing for it. And I'm getting bits on eBay, man. It's pretty exciting. So do you want to say goodbye? Anything else? You can say whatever you want, man.
No, just, check out BECM Cards on eBay and big things coming on Facebook over the next year. Kind of slow to get things out, but we'll get things up and going and working with you and Rocky Mountain. And thanks to everybody who tuned in, and hopefully, we can grow this all together as a community and all of us can eat. So
yeah, that's the point. So we will call it. All right, bye guys. Thank you guys. And I'm going to end the stream.